Frontios is an episode that I mostly forgot about. The only thing reminiscent to me was the business of supposedly the TARDIS being destroyed, and the hat stand being mistaken for a weapon. Turlo holding them at bay with it. But I mean, hey, it's something you've never seen before, and there it is. There's weird shapes to it. My God, what could it be? So, but it's this basic thing. You go, oh, there's some deep into the future, and some colonists in trouble, and the doctor's got to solve it, and all that sort of thing. And oh, it's creatures and all that, and that's all well and good. But there's some curious oddities about it. Concerning the doctor and everything, rather than just the story itself. I mean, it starts off, they're actually descendants, I think, mostly, of the original colonists who crash land on this planet, and then mysterious things are afoot, and they try to keep it all hush-hush from the rank and file, but some people are already suspecting this, and some have actually seen this happen where the ground seems to suck people into it. And they're all, spooked about it and everything. But anyway, as the Doctor and Tegan and Turlo are in the TARDIS, they're traveling along, the Doctor is deciding to do some redecorating or something. I don't know. And all that stuff. But the main thing is that all of a sudden there's an alarm goes off, and the Doctor's saying, oh, we're too far into the future. Now, you can go anywhere you want in any time. I mean, so too far in the future, meaning to the point where the universe ended, maybe? I don't know. And then there's some sort of problem where and I'm assuming it has to do with the plot on the planet Frontios, where you have this creature who's basically a mutated grub worm or something, who and with the other grub worms, it's the main one called the Gravis, and he's the main leader or what have you. But without him, none of them have any powers or anything. They just go back to being worms in the ground. But now they're these giant creatures, and they have the ability to manipulate gravity, to the point that they were attacking the planet and manipulating the colonists, to making them think there's some sort of alien attack. And, well, there was, technically speaking. They were thinking it was from beyond or what have you. But they use that to have meteor showers, and it's kind of pretty much standard meteor showers on them. And so they say, oh, well, this is obviously an attack. And they're not far off. They just didn't get the right idea about it. So this is the power they have, and I have to say, oh, well, the TARDIS got caught up in the gravitational pull, and so they land there. But the thing of it is, so the first thing is like, oh, we can only go so far into the future. Well, why? He's going to run into Jodie. But then he goes on about, well, we can't do much for these people. We can only help out a little. We're not supposed to interfere. Now, of course, this harkens back to the sort of original status quo of Doctor Who, in that, he was on the run from the Time Lords, and one of his biggest violations was that he did interfere. He interferes all the time. And that's one of their big cardinal rules, that they said you can't do that unless they make certain, emergency reasons for why they would do it, and they dispatch a Time Lord to act as an agent, and they do their mission, and they come back, and they don't keep running around just randomly arriving at places and deciding, oh, there's a problem here, I guess I'll solve it. They frown on that, and that's why he was in so much trouble when they finally caught him and put him on trial at the end of War Games. So that was pretty much the end of that status quo, really. I mean, the third Doctor is the one who has to endure the punishment. He's exiled to Earth, and he's stranded there. And then he ends up having to come in and save the Time Lords from Omega and the three Doctors and all that. So now he has some permission there. And then in Genesis of the Daleks, you get that Time Lord forcing him to go deal and interfere with the very origin of the Daleks. And the Time Lord tells him, yes, we allow you your freedom, and on occasion we require your aid. So the doctor just becomes a regular agent in the field, if you will, after that point. It's not a great relationship between the two, over the years, but the idea that he's bound by the original rule there, and to a certain point, he wants to be responsible and not wreck some species' history or whatnot. But in the act of helping people and saving lives, he's doing it all the time. So it's very odd that it's just stipulated there, and he keeps telling people, "You never saw me. You don't talk to the Time Lords." I mean, the Gravis, he knew who the Time Lords were, and he knew of the Doctor even. He said by reputation he knew. And he also had heard of a TARDIS, so he wanted it and all this sort of stuff. But it's odd. I don't see where the Doctor's really bound by that, to the point that he's, I don't know if we should help these people or not, but they're all in trouble. Immediately he starts, setting up their electricity, which is all in the shambles, and then he ends up saving the leader's life because he's having heart troubles, and he concocts a makeshift defibrillator and shocks him back. All this type of stuff. So it's just strange. I don't know what that is. The writers, one I'm not very fond of because of his smart-ass remarks about Tom Baker and stuff. Granted, Tom Baker could be quite the a-hole, but still, for this guy to be still sore about it decades later, I mean, jeez. And then he criticizes Janet Fielding for not being feminist enough. Just not a great guy, I don't think. So, maybe that's it. Maybe he just throws things around and doesn't really explain it. I don't know. But anyway, the basic plot's, fine and everything, because there's this new monster who do look kind of silly, but I'm fine with it because I'm more forgiving of that sort of stuff than others might be. And so the Doctor ends up outsmarting this creature, of course. And the interesting thing here, though, is that the TARDIS, from the gravitational forces and what's happening on the planet, and what it means by the power, that the tractators, they're called. Because, you eat potato chips on a tractor. But they're the culprits of all this. And they keep wanting to use human beings as sort of computers for their machines and whatnot. So their original leader, he was still alive, but he's dead by the end. But they were sticking him into this machine and making it's just a head sticking out. At first I thought he didn't have a body anymore, but nah, he still have a body. All that type of stuff going on. But ultimately, apparently the gravitational forces manipulated the dimensional properties of the TARDIS to where it wasn't destroyed, but it was split up all over the place. So when they go down into the tunnels and whatnot, eventually Tegan finds, oh look, it's the walls of the TARDIS enmeshed within the rocks and whatnot. And eventually they get to the console room, and the Doctor figures out that he has to manipulate the Gravis in his gravitational manipulation begets manipulation to collapse the TARDIS back into itself. And so that's, restores the TARDIS that way. And then dumps him on some desert planet to be a grub worm. And then all's well, they're all happy and stuff. And they take off. But they leave on a cliffhanger. Something's pulling them away. Oh, gee, I wonder what it could be. Oh, no. So that's going into the next story. The other odd thing, which I can't, again, like I'm saying, I can't remember. I'm guessing Planet of Fire will figure this out. But the deal with Turlough is that they're dropping something here about his backstory because he is an alien and all that. But apparently he's had some encounter with tractators before to the point that he has basically a mental breakdown in the middle of the show and has to slowly struggle to get back to functionability here. And as I was following, because I couldn't remember, and I thought, are they going to stipulate that these people are like, because it's in the deep future, and the Doctor says this is all that's left of humanity, another version of that. And I was thinking, the girl that he meets would turn out to be his great-grandmother or something like that. But then they didn't do anything like that, so I don't know. But it's just that Turlough had some past encounter with tractators. Yeah, that could have been the title, you know. The plot of the tractators or whatever. Oh well. So it's a strange episode. There's some interesting things about it, but it's a bit all over the place in a lot of ways. So probably not one of the better ones, but you know, it's a curiosity. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.